to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we will be talking about The Traitors, Season 3, Episodes 1 through 3.
Now, Blair has watched all 2 seasons.
Yep.
This is my first season watching Traitors, besides catching it here and there whenever you watched it on your own. Mm-hmm. So I am new to this, not true to this, but guess what? I'm going to act like I'm true to this. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Blair, walk us through this episode. Now, listen here. We're not going to go through each cast member. That's too much work.
Watch the show.
That's too much work for me.
Watch the show because it's worth it,
yeah.
And you'll see who the cast is when you watch it. You need to watch it.
Yeah,
it's
you
on
need to
Peacock.
watch it. Yeah.
Okay. So Brittany gave Danielle the boot on Big Brother. We're jumping right in.
Okay.
She tells her that she messed up. She hurt her. Danielle was angry more so at herself that she believed someone, but she will not do that again in this game.
And we are at the intros right now.
Yep. When everybody first walks up to the castle before, Alan greets everyone. Well, here we go. Alan greets everyone.
Yeah.
He will choose who the traitors are. They will have to deceive and unalive people, and there will also be people banished. The goal for the faithfuls are to stay alive and to banish the traitors.
Yeah.
The prize is at $250K. If any of the traitors remain at the end, they will take the entirety of the prize pot.
Yeah.
There is a mystery man with a mask on that Alan calls to the front and reveals a potential additional player.
Yep.
If you shake Alan's hand, the player will join the game, and one person you will get to choose to leave.
Now, question. Will you shake the hand? Just off of those rules alone?
I would not shake the hand because
Really?
I don't know. Well, no, they did end up revealing who it was.
Yeah.
And it was Boston Rob from Survivor, and he is a game player, a shark. I did not watch Boston Rob back in the day on Survivor.
You didn't watch Survivor?
No.
One of the highest seasons that that Boston Rob was on?
Right. I didn't watch it, but I believe him. And if they say he's a shark, he's a game player, I don't want him in the game with me.
But here's the thing. I wouldn't have went off of who he is. I would have went off of, like, who do I get to get payback on in this moment?
I think so. You're thinking Danielle should have shook the hand to get Brittany out?
I'm just saying, you still talking about it. I'm just saying, like, this is your time to actually, like, get her out the game and things like that. That's what I would have did, to be honest. But, I'm over here.
So no one shakes Alan's hands. They do not want Boston Rob in the house.
Now, listen here. I just want to say this just off the jump.
Okay.
Just off the jump, right? Bob is there, right? Bob the drag queen, right?
Yes.
Right? And I'm not gonna lie. I told Blair, I said, just off of how he got the San Diego hat on cocked to the side, I was like, you're the traitor. Before we even chose who like
you knew it would be Bob?
I just be like, I feel like Bob the drag queen wants to be the traitor. He came there dressed as if he's like, pick me to be the traitor, the shoulder, because he goes around and touch people's shoulders. So he made sure he had his shoulders exposed so she could feel his hand, right? And then he had the hat cocked to the side. And I was like, I'm going to choose you every time. Okay?
I will say Bob is going to give Alan a run for his money. We always look to see what Alan's fashions are going to be, and Bob is giving Alan a run for his money. I will say that.
I like Alan's.
Alan's fits are fire.
I like Alan's fits.
Yeah.
I ain't going to hold you. I like Bob's dashiki. I ain't going to hold you.
Yeah.
I ain't going to hold you. I do like his dashiki. Keep going.
So we gather around the table to select who the traitors are going to be. Everyone puts on their blindfolds.
Yeah.
Alan selects Danielle, Carolyn, and Bob the drag queen.
Yes.
Tom is the first one. He rips off his blindfold because he wants to catch people's initial reactions.
And that's smart.
If he can get some tells as far as are people smirking, are people acting like shaky, what's going on? And he does have a few ideas of who the traitors could be.
That's smart though, because if I was Tom, I would have did the same thing unless I was a traitor.
Yeah.
Right? If I was a faithful, I would have took it off as quick as possible. And the minute I would have saw Carolyn is her name, taking a sip of her water, I would have like,
You're nervous.
Being a traitor got your mouth dry. I would have looked at everybody who first thing reached for their glass and things of that nature. And I just wonder, how long were they sitting there before he chose to sit?
Well, he walked around a few times and he put his arm out a couple times.
But trust me, this is editing. Right? Yeah. Because for one, I'm going to put the blindfold on you and I'm just going to leave you there. And then I'm going to walk around at the same pace because he got to get his pace down.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to hear cuckoo, cuckoo. And then I'm like, okay, I feel like he's far from me. So whoever's 2 seats from me, he stopped. So I think it was very good to have the blindfold on. But I would have been like, Tom, take it off and see who's
Only
acting
thing
weird?
though, I wouldn't be looking at people crazy like Tom was, because Tom was looking like he could possibly be a traitor.
Crazy eye. Keep going.
So Tom is thinking Trishelle.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks that she seemed a little bit off. And Tony said that Trishelle hasn't stopped talking and said that they need his detective skills. Y'all, I watched Selling Sunset. Y'all, I watch too much TV. I watched Selling Sunset. That is Crishelle's personality. She is a very bubbly, talkative person, and Trishelle was not acting out of the norm, but they don't know her personality to know
Of course
that.
not.
So Tom tells Carolyn that he would have thought that she was a traitor, but she's always twitchy. So he's just like, I don't think it's you because you just a little bit off all the time. Dylan tells Trishelle that Tom mentioned her. Trishelle thinks it might be because she's friends with Ariana, and of course we know what happened with Scandival. Tom cheating on Ariana with Ariana's friend. And then Ariana having her rise from the ashes Phoenix moments with the best season of Love Island being the host. And because of what he did to her, she already has an opinion of him.
Now start right here, right? We already got the basis of the game. Basically, to basically simplify it, we got to get the traitors out the house before the traitors kill everybody, right? And here's the thing about it, right? In this game, right? If you was in this game, which one would you rather be, a traitor or a faithful?
I want to be a traitor.
You want to be a traitor?
Because it's more fun. Like I want to like have like the power. I want to be sneaky. I want to do like the secret challenges. Like it just seems a lot more fun than being a faithful, being like picked apart, you know.
I think I would have operated best as a faithful. I think I'm very well. It's not that I think I've been trained to read people. So like I would have not like Robin, who said she's good at reading people, right? Robin, I don't think you're good at reading people, right? I would have been great as a faithful and probably terrible as a traitor, because the minute that I feel like you on my scent, you're gone, right? Eventually, but also before we move on, out of the 3 traitors that they picked so far, out of Danielle, Carolyn, and Bob, the drag queen, dude, you felt like these are good traitors just off of just like first look?
Well, number one, I'm not familiar with Carolyn, so I was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
Danielle, I watched her season of Big Brother, but it was so long ago, like I can barely remember, but they did say like she was like one of the best players to not win. So with that and the game of Big Brother being what it is, and you know, I think that Danielle was a good choice. Yeah. Bob the drag queen, I feel like I'm in the middle because of how Bob has had some of his antics. Yeah. I really do enjoy Bob the drag queen. Like I follow like some of his socials, and I think he's just hilarious, great personality, everything like that. But as far as being a traitor, he might have too big of a personality to be a traitor. I was thinking. He might. I
only asked that because Carolyn, people like, she always twitching, and it's like, I don't really expect it from her. I think that's the best cover up for a traitor. Yeah. Right? I think Bob have too much of spotlight on me personality, too much. Like, I think he talks too much, right? And I think as a traitor, you could sometimes like kind of like show your hand, as we gonna see like in the episodes where he's talking all loud, talk about traitors unite, and I'm like okay, brother, relax, stop calling me, okay? Exactly. Let's keep going.
So we get to the first mission, the first chance to add money to the prize pot. So they have to row the boat to the pontoons, they have to collect all of the fuel, come back to blaze the ring of fire. Any gold that they collected along the way, placed in the middle of the ring of fire, will be added to the prize fund. Any player standing inside the ring of fire when it's lighted will win a shield, so they will not be unalived that night by the traitors. If you fail to set a fire, then everyone will be up for banishment. So or for unaliving. Yes. So Sierra and Nick are navigating everyone else. They're rowing terribly at first, but then Bob gets them to get the heave and the hoe. Then they get into their rhythm and they make it to the first pontoon.
Great personality. I like it, Bob.
Yeah. So they get to the first fuel stop. They read, you're not just gonna get this thing for free, so you need to give up 2 players in order to get the fuel stop. So Carolyn knows that she needs to appear like a faithful, so she's not going to volunteer herself to make it look like she needs the shield. Yeah. Robin and Ion are the first to volunteer.
Okay. I like that.
Yep. Then the next pontoon is $10,000. They again have to sacrifice 2 players. Dorinda and Dolores volunteer. Danielle is thinking that Dolores could be a fellow traitor. If you get off the boat, you're not scared. You're not scared because you're not at risk of going home. Yeah. Their eyes are on the Housewives because all of them have volunteered. Most of them Was it all or most? I can't remember
It don't matter.
what other housewives. But Dorinda realizes, okay, we are targets because we just jumped off that boat. The next pontoon is another fuel stop. To take the fuel, you have to sacrifice 2 players.
Yeah.
Bob is yelling like, it's been all women this whole time. Some of y'all guys, y'all need to like get up and get on these pontoons and allow some of the women to stay on. Some of the guys are saying, well, we need guys to be strong to like pedal back and all this type of stuff. So Bob volunteers himself and Danielle also volunteers.
I'm not gonna hold you. That would have got me off of Bob's scent.
That really would have got me off of
I ain't gonna hold
too.
you, because in my head I would have been like, that's right, that's fair. Let's do girl boy on each raft. And as much as I would have got Bob for having his shoulders out and his hat to the side, I would have been like, you know what, I like Bob.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I would have been like, yeah, girl power,
exactly.
Bob.
Come on now.
Yeah.
We just can't have all the women off and things of that nature. And the Danielle part would have got me off too, because I think it's all about how you get on the raft. It was basically a standstill. Nobody would volunteer. And she's basically like, you know what? I'm going to get off. I'm going to get off, you know? No, Danielle, no. Like, I'm going to get off. And Bob getting off actually made me go like, ooh,
they played it good.
That would have got me. But the thing about it, they played it so good not knowing that they're both traitors.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I would have been completely like off their scent and just basically like, who's ever still is on this boat
is a traitor.
Is a traitor. You get what I'm saying? Like so yeah, keep going.
So the next stop is Fuel. Harper and Sam volunteer themselves. They don't have 2 volunteers for the next pontoon in order to get the additional money, so they decide just to head back to the Ring of Fire, even though they had plenty of time to pedal out there and to get the additional money, but nobody was going to volunteer. So they get back in time to set the ring on fire. They ended up gathering $20,000, and all of those players inside have a shield.
Yeah.
The people from the pontoons end up getting back to the house later than everyone else. They're also all in like black like sweatshirts and hoodies and stuff like that. They look tired and everything.
Cold.
They upset because y'all ate most of the food. We got to get the leftovers.
Yeah. And what is the host name?
Alan,
right? Alan says something like, oh, no one wanted to be noble? Because everybody on the raft was like, I have no problem sacrificing myself on the raft if y'all get all the money. But y'all chose not to even get all the money, so it made their sacrifice not
like in vain.
Yeah, exactly. Now this is why I would have been a good faithful, right? You know what I would have did? If I was still on that boat, I would have had plates
set aside
for the people who's not there, as in thank you for the sacrifice. I know we ain't go. See, that's why I would have been a good faithful.
That's a smart move.
Come on now,
that's a very smart move.
Yeah, exactly.
So Bob gathers everyone. Danielle is pissed because they left all that money. Her being pissed also makes her look like a faithful. So she's like, I'm kind of pissed, but also, I'm kind of playing.
She's like, I'm safe nevertheless.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So Tom hugs her, tells her he's sorry. He's going to try to find a way to make up to it. He asks her if she wants coffee, she wants tea, she wants some milk.
She's like, I don't want nothing.
So Dorinda was hoping that they could all sit and have a meal together at least. Dorinda is funny. Dorinda is from Real Housewives of New York, and she has this manner, and one of her famous lines is, I made it nice.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I took my time, I set this up, and I made it nice. So for her to talk about she wanted to have a nice meal together with everybody, she's just like, y'all are not decent.
Now,
okay?
Listen, now, I ain't gonna hold you. Danielle, the way she played it, as in coming in, still being mad.
Yeah.
Chef kiss.
But I felt like she overdid it a little bit.
I don't
all
think
the crying.
so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so at that moment.
Okay.
I think at the moment of just like being away from everybody, I think she played it perfect.
Okay.
I think she plays it perfect before they get into like their little cage upstairs and things like that. I think she played this perfect. But with me, I would have been a good faithful because I would have had plates aside set for them.
You don't think that might have made the other faithfuls be like, are you like doing this? Like,
I understand that, but I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, a traitor could have been on. In my head, I'm like, a traitor could have been on that raft, and a traitor could have been on this boat. I gotta be good with everybody. I gotta be good with everybody. So in my head, I just would have been like, let me put food aside. So because in my head I'm like, I don't know who the traitor is. It's not until I know who the traitor is, or basically the first meeting after someone is basically eliminated.
Yeah,
that's when I would have start like looking at relationships. But right now, I'm like, everybody, just be nice to everybody.
Yeah. Well, Dorinda's making the point that she wouldn't have gone onto the pontoon if she knew that they weren't going to go for all the money. Jeremy's point, well, if you're a traitor and you jump off, does it really make you any better? How do you know people don't have certain agendas?
Yeah.
And Dorinda says that doesn't make you better. That would be an ulterior motive, but that's not her. She's not a traitor. People are now thinking Dorinda's a traitor because of her reaction, and she jumped off the boat pretty quickly. Everyone goes to bed, and it is time for the traitors to choose who to unalive.
Okay. Who are the traitors again? Bob, Danielle, and Carolyn, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So, Rob was rejected, but they brought him back. He will enter the game the next day as a traitor, and Rob says that he is going to unalive them all.
Oh, okay. Okay, Bob.
Alan also has a couple of other players who will be joining the game. Danielle, Bob, and Carolyn all gather in the, what is it? Not the parapet, the whatever it is. Yeah. For them to decide.
The traitor dungeon.
Right.
I don't know.
We'll call it the traitor dungeon.
Right. The fact, was this the time that they revealed who like the other traitors were to each other yet?
Yes, so they all saw each other.
Man, I ain't gonna hold you. I loved it when Danielle and Bob saw each other inside that traitor dungeon, right? Because they both was on the raft together.
They were.
And now
they're like, you had me fooled. You had me fooled.
I ain't gonna hold
both thought each other was faithful.
Oh yeah. 100%. 100%.
So the other two players joining the games are Wes, the villain of all villains.
Yeah.
From the challenge, and Derek from Big Brother, who he is a detective.
Yeah. Now we are on episode 2.
This is episode 2.
Now you watched Derek's season of Big Brother, right?
I did watch Derek's season.
Is Derek a good game player?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Derek is amazing.
I say Derek is the most dangerous person on the show right now, in my opinion.
And I was so mad, jumping ahead a little bit, when Danielle whispered like, he's a cop. Because I'm just like, let him do his thing and be undercover, okay? Anyway, so Bob and Danielle want to think ahead, just discuss who to unalive and who to basically frame. Carolyn just wants to go one step at a time, and they're just like, Carolyn, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you have to think 20 steps ahead.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So they want to break up the Housewives. It's too many of them. Carolyn wants Dorinda to be a shield for them. She thinks that Robin should go. So they come down to their decision, and it's between Dorinda, Dolores, and Robin, and then they end up making their decision. So we don't find out till the next morning who actually is unalived, and it was Dorinda.
Yeah.
They think that Dorinda, because she came out guns blazing. Tom said that if he was a traitor, he would have gotten rid of a housewife to keep people off of his scent.
Yeah. Now hold on, I have a question, right? When Wes and Derek entered the game as well, right?
Yeah.
They are entering in as traitors as well?
No.
Okay.
They are faithful.
They are faithful. So as far as you know, when they revealed all 3 of them in that cage, it was only
Rob.
Okay.
Who was a traitor. But I will say that I would have liked Dorinda to stay. Dorinda is a character.
Yeah.
And she would have been a great shield for the traitors because she is such a lively, outgoing personality.
Yeah.
That they would have got her out for sure in banishment. Like, absolutely. So I agree. Dorinda shouldn't have gone. To me, any of the housewives would have been fine, other than Dorinda.
Now, here's the thing about it, right? There's this agenda of getting the housewives out, right? Do you agree with that agenda?
I do, in a way, and I think I read somewhere where Bob was coming from with that, because he said, look, the housewives all stick together. Like, they are loyal to each other.
So basically there's faithfuls and there's housewives.
Right. Well, the thing is, like, there's the game players and the, like, reality stars, which are the housewives. But the thing is, with the game players, they don't all get along. Some people have snake people in some of their games. And I think that it would be easier to get in there and break up some of their alliances because, I mean, they're all strategic for how they can get out to be the winner at the end.
Yeah.
Versus the housewives, they all want to get together at the end together. So I think that
makes sense.
Yeah. So I think that was a smart move. However, the game players are bigger in number. So if they are sticking together this early in the game, that can be dangerous for the traitors, because the game players, just their history, they might be better at finding a traitor. So it's like it could go one of two ways, but personally, I think that they should have went for a game player first, a strong game player. I probably would have picked Tony.
Tony, basically the muscle.
Yeah, and even though Tony really didn't come out guns a-blazing, like, I would choose somebody who I think would figure me out first.
Okay.
So
see, here's the thing, right? I was paying attention during the breakfast when what is her name again? The one who got eliminated?
Dorinda.
When she got eliminated, and I saw Danielle and Bob crying, that's when I think that was too much. Because I'm like, why am I crying? If I'm a faithful, I didn't get her eliminated off the show.
Yeah.
I'm going to look around with my man Tom with like the cat eye or something like that from Vanderpump. I would have been looking around like, why y'all crying?
Yeah.
Like, unless you unalive somebody.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I would have put it in my mental of keep Bob and Danielle in my head because these are the only two crying at this table about them being eliminated.
Yeah, so some people are thinking that Ivar is the one who unalived Dorinda because they got into it after the challenge.
Yeah.
Robin doesn't think that Bob is a traitor. She is thinking Wells.
It's funny because Robin just got done saying in her confessional that she's so good at reading people, and when somebody brought Bob like as a potential traitor, she was like, "There's no way, there's no way." And I was like, "Robin, no, girl, please."
Danielle is planting seeds that a housewife is a traitor. Dylan trusts Danielle, so he's choosing to believe her. Danielle is Zac Efron's brother, Dylan Efron. Wells thinks that it was a dumb move because everyone was saying her name. Robin says that if it was smart, we wouldn't be talking if someone else was banished. Oh, hold on. Did I say that right?
I don't know.
Wells thinks it was a dumb move to get Dorinda because everybody was saying Dorinda's name, so it was just kind of like a little bit too obvious. And then Robin said that she did think it was smart. And Wells is thinking that maybe it's Robin because she got a little bit defensive by him critiquing the traitor's decision.
Yeah, because that's when Robin came over. She sat down and she basically went to Wells and says, you know, so how is it being a traitor and things like that. And I think that's when they got into it because Wells like, why would you like think it's smart? Because it can make people think you did it. And that's when Robin's like, I want people to think that. And that's when people.
That's not what she said.
I think that's what she said.
Not at all.
I think she said
she was saying that she thinks it was a smart decision to get rid of Dorinda. She wasn't saying that I would.
But I think if I can remember, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I think Wells said something across the lines of, well, people may think or something like that a housewife or somebody did it, and that's what Robin said something across the lines of, that's cool, like that's smart, like that. I'm fine with that.
Okay. And
that's when like he was like, Robin, I got my eye on you, and I'm like, both of y'all wrong, in my opinion.
So we get to the next challenge. 3 new players are in these suspended cages. Alan reveals it's Derek, Wes, and Rob.
Yeah.
They all have a shield and will gift the shield to anyone that they choose. They can only do it if you lower their cage in the allotted time. So they have to collect the coins that are in these bags around the forest and deposit them in the collectors in order to bank money for the prize fund and to lower the 3 players. So first one they're going to is Rob because everybody's trying to get on his good side because nobody shook Alan's hand to get him in the first time.
Wow.
And everybody's saying their name. Hey, I'm Bob.
Exactly.
I'm giving you a coin.
It's so funny because Rob is up there like, so what is your name?
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Danielle is working to get Derek down. Wes doesn't have any coins until Wells puts one in. Wells wants an alliance with Wes. Rob comes down. Next is Derek. And then lastly is Wes with no time to spare. They ended up winning $50,000 for the prize pot, and people are filling in the new players about the game so far, as well as their theories for who the traitors are.
Yeah.
Danielle solidifies an alliance with Derek. Wells and Dylan are suspecting Robin as a traitor. So we get to the round table, and it's time to banish who they believe is a traitor.
Oh, okay. We at the round table.
Yes. So Bob thinks Wells' behavior has been strange. He changed after the traitors were picked. Bob Harper has not noticed the change.
Yeah.
Robin thinks that there was a shift in his demeanor.
Oh, come on, Robin.
He left the room after Robin talked to him, and what was it? Wells said, I left the room because you got defensive when I said that it wasn't a smart move. And Robin says, well, Dorinda going was a smart move.
Okay.
So Wells realized that he might have put a target on his back with Robin and Sam after that conversation. Tom saw people's initials response, and he believes that Trishelle and Jeremy were acting strange. Trishelle says that Tom was looking at her weird, and he was making her uncomfortable.
I ain't gonna lie, he looking at me weird. He making me feel uncomfortable.
He threw her name out, and traitors sometimes create chaos, and Tom created the chaos. Ivar could have retaliated for the argument that he had with Dorinda. That theory was thrown out.
I think that's obvious. Yeah.
And Danielle said, well, we think a housewife is a traitor. A traitor would take someone out close to deflect, so possibly Robin or Dolores. Robin said that is a perfect traitor move. So this is where she said it. Yeah. I haven't done or said anything for people to think I'm a traitor, though.
They was like, well, you jumped off the raft.
Yeah, they're like, you jumped onto that pontoon pretty fast. And she says she would do it 10 out of 10 all the time. She's a selfless person. And Wells said, well, why would you do that if you don't think that you're safe? Robin said that's just who she is.
I ain't gonna hold you. That probably would have got me on Robin's scent.
Yeah.
And probably would have knocked me off of the other people who I would have thought. Bob would have stayed on my scent 100% the whole time. Because I pay attention to who talked first. And Bob was the one who started the conversation.
He did.
And I understand that and that's why I'm gonna give Bob a little bail to get out of jail, right? Because I'm sure they was all sitting around the table not talking.
Yeah. And then so it's like somebody got to talk.
And production probably was like, hey, y'all got to talk. And Bob was like, well, since nobody want to talk about anything, like, I think he took it upon himself to lead the charge. But I think at the end of the day, it is important, which is the round table is where all the drama goes down.
Yes.
It's really not the traitor dungeon. It's the round table, because you're telling me or asking me to give a name with the little clues or no clues I have at all.
And that's hard to do.
And then if I give a name and that person is not eliminated, now they feel some type of way as if I'm trying to get them out. And it's like, oh man, a lot of drama. Great show. You know what I mean?
So all the votes come in and they vote to banish Wells. Wells reveals he was a faithful. Ion starts breaking down, and Wells did feel like Ion was very kind.
And Robin was so...
She was shocked.
She was like, oh my goodness, I thought I read people well. No.
So now Dylan is starting to think that Bob, the drag queen, might be a traitor.
Ooh, he's smart.
Robin says that, Bob does go from person to person to try to see what they're thinking.
Yeah.
The shields, however, can be given privately. So Rob, Wes, and Derek are still trying to figure out who to give it to.
Okay.
Rob ends up giving his shield to Tony. Derek gives his to Dylan to extend an olive branch, just letting him know, like, I want us to be allies. Yeah. Wes gives his to Jeremy. He wants to get in on that survivor group. They voted all together in solidarity, and they have the most numbers here.
That's actually...
that was strategic.
That is a very good strategic thing that Wes picked up on.
Very good.
Very strategic.
The traitors get together to discuss who they will unalive next. Bob thinks the new guys are going to try to run this place and that they're looking at him. Rob makes his entrance as the new traitor.
We on episode 3 now. We on episode 3. Come on, follow us.
So Rob gave Tony the shield. He reveals that to the other traitors. Thinks that Jeremy also has a shield, and they also know that Dylan has a shield. So because Rob came in with Derek and Wes, it seemed like they were pretty cool and they were sharing information about shields. So that way the traitors, if they were to unalive somebody who has a shield, then that person would just still be in the game.
Okay.
So it was good that he got that information so that this person that they unalive could actually get out.
Okay.
So Bob wants to go for Robin or Ion next. The others don't want to kill any other housewives tonight.
Now, question, just off of that alone, Bob says that he want to unalive another housewife.
Yes.
Right? Do you think that's a good strategy?
No.
Help me understand.
I think that going for the housewives, and I've heard this theory, and I'm going to adopt it as my own.
Take it.
It's possible that Bob didn't want the attention of the housewives.
Oh, don't! I heard that theory too. Stop it.
Maybe he
Bob
wanted the attention on him instead of the housewives. That's just a theory.
Bob is better than that.
But I do, however, think that there are other stronger players to unalive. I mean, Wes is in the game. Get Wes out. Do we not know about Wes?
But I wouldn't get Wes out the first night though.
I'm just saying there are people who are strategic game players who need to go.
And Wes wasn't safe, right?
No.
Okay, yeah.
He
was safe.
Dang, because Wes and Derek were safe. Yeah. But I'm just like, y'all need to get people who are saying your name out. So I think he should have gone for Dylan at that point.
I think at this point, because I hear what Bob is saying, right? I think Bob is saying, hey, let's do chaos. That means we cause so much confusion that they just don't know what's going on, right? I can get that, but it got to be controlled chaos, in my opinion. Now, I don't think it was a so much bad decision when it came down to getting a housewife out. I just think you got the wrong housewife out. I think at this point they should have got Robin out. That's what I think they should have got. Even though I'm actually rooting for Robin in the show, but I think to basically get someone who is not a threat. Like in my opinion, especially since this is the part where y'all get to choose, because y'all know who the traitors are amongst yourselves, and y'all get to choose who y'all get to unalive. I'm like, to get her out at this point of the game just seems very.
They got Ion out.
Yeah, yeah. To choose another housewife, especially her, I just like it. Just seemed random. It don't seem strategic. So it just seemed like chaos just for chaos' sake, and maybe that's strategy in itself. But I'm like, now I'm starting to see, as someone who is new to the show, that it's not only the faithful versus the traitors. You may even have sometimes where it's traitors versus traitors. Yeah, that they got to be together. And I'm looking at Rob looking at these people like he said, like, y'all not even together. We need to be one, basically one voice, one sound, or basically one band or whatever. So like now I'm starting to see the in and outs of the game, that it's not so easy unaliving someone as a traitor, because at the end of the day it's like he's wilding. Yeah. Or she's wilding, you know what I mean?
So Derek, he is working with Wes and Rob, but he is thinking that one of them are probably traitors because we all came in the game at the same time. Yeah. Chances are one of them's a traitor. Yeah. He wants to work with them, but he's a little bit weary. Yeah. Danielle is talking about Bob maybe going home, saying Brittany is getting sent home and someone might be pinning it on her. And Rob thinks that she's putting a target on her back for doing all this talking. So no one understands why they would take Ion out since she's not a threat. Carolyn did not want to get rid of Ion. Jeremy pulls her to the side and he tells her, you need to watch Danielle because she's acting funny.
Danielle, now you're looking funny in the light.
Robin is talking to Wes. She thinks that Tony unalived Ion. He's been on Survivor and he's a good liar.
Robin, you're not good. You're not good at this game, okay?
Wes tells Tony that the housewives think that he's a traitor. He doesn't think that Tony is a traitor.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. Dylan says that Robin and Bob were naming Wells. Bob threw out a name and then backed off at the end. He thinks that sparked chaos, and he knew that Wells was not a traitor. So his eyes are set on Bob and Robin.
So Bob, out of every name that is said, and I think Carolyn is playing it so smart.
The thing is, I don't think Carolyn's playing nothing. I think she's just
and like, that's the best.
And she's just like, I'm just here, and y'all don't listen to me.
I think she described it perfectly. That's why I'm like, I think Bob was a bad choice of, what is the host's name?
Alan,
to pick him as a traitor because his personality is too big. Carolyn says that she's always in her life been forgotten, right? Basically like that turd on the wall that no one pays attention to. And I think because she's a traitor, that she could easily, like, people can forget she's in the game. People can forget that she's there. And people would not think that highly of her. Yeah. To basically be like, you're not a traitor. You're not good at the game.
But I will say that when it comes to Bob, the good thing about him being a traitor is that it could be good for the faithfuls. Yeah. Because I don't know exactly how Bob works, but some people with loud, personalities and big mouths, when people start looking at them, they start pointing the finger and they start getting nervous.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
So the thing is, like, if Bob is really people coming down on him, and if he starts slipping up, giving up information about maybe who else might be a traitor to get the scent off of him, then that could cause the dissension between the traitors and the faithfuls, or can get closer to getting this money towards the end.
That's true.
So the mission. The players are standing next to who they will work with for this mission. They're in pairs. You enter the fun house, hold on to one balloon. If you select the right door, you get to do the next set of 4 doors. If you get the balloon to the end, you will bank the money. If you select the wrong door, your balloon will pop and you will lose the chance of getting any money added to the prize fund. So what the players say who are going through this maze will be transmitted through the loudspeakers, so that way the other players can know which doors to choose following after them.
Okay.
So the first 2 players at the end will also win 2 shields. So folks are tired of the same people volunteering to go first. Bob Harper challenges Tony to go first because he wasn't going to go at all. Tony was not going to volunteer.
Of course
so Nikki and Tony just went ahead first. Of course, their balloons get popped. Tony did not describe the doors very well. I will say that.
Oh my goodness, Tony.
Next, Dolores and Bob Harper go. They choose the wrong door. They were the fourth to go. Everyone knew that it was the wrong door though because of how the doors were described.
Yeah.
Just Dolores and Bob were forgetting what doors were described before them. So no one was successful at getting the money or the shields. On the way back to the castle, Jeremy thinks that Danielle's a traitor.
Yeah.
Bob tells Danielle when they get back that Jeremy was talking about her. Carolyn also shares that Jeremy told her to keep an eye on her.
Now stop right here, right? It's very important in this game, right? Let's say 4 groups went first. This is funny, right?
Yeah.
Not 4 groups. There's 4 doors, I think it was, right? And do you know it took them over 5 people, 5 groups, 5 pairs,
right? Exactly,
to get through the front door. They was like, if everybody just choose a door, we can at least get through the front door. So automatically, no one's working together. They failed. No one got a shield. To your point, right? Even with what you said, do you think Danielle is acting differently? Like basically how everybody keep pointing out of how she's acting, or like is that something that they may be saying outside of that they may be seeing outside of what we may see?
I think it's just something that they are seeing that we're not seeing. I think that we've seen Danielle get tearful and, do these like acting moments. And to some people, it might appear as strange because why is she being so emotional? To us, we think that she's just playing it. But I think it's starting to border the lines of the fact of you're a bad actor.
Yeah. Even though she thinks she's a great actor.
Right.
Yeah.
So Trishelle, Nikki, and Gabby have an alliance called the Doe Eyes. And they all think that Tony is suspicious. Jeremy thinks that Dylan is looking shady. He thinks that Bob is a faithful. Jeremy tells Bob that Dylan threw his name out there. Now Bob is riled up. He's like, why people saying my name? Why people saying my name?
People can say your name, Bob, okay?
Brittany also heard Dylan mention Bob's name.
Ooh.
So Bob says he's about to go off at this round table if Dylan mentions him. So we get to the round table.
Now, mind you, Bob, you need to stop. Listen here. I know I'm a traitor. If I'm Danielle or Carolyn, we don't have to have secret traitor meetings to the side. You get what I'm saying? Don't say like, hey, we need to talk. This is what's going on. Listen, we have an allotted time that we're already going to meet.
Right.
We don't ever got to meet out here in public, dude. You get what I'm saying? But, it is what it is. That's how I would play it, but I wouldn't be a good traitor.
Right. So Dylan starts the conversation.
Ooh, okay.
He says that Wells was a faithful, and he wants to look at the most vocal people who said that Wells was a traitor. It was both Bob and Robin.
Okay.
Bob said that people were saying Wells' names. Dylan said that if you're a traitor, then you know that he was innocent. And Rob tells Dylan, look, man, you're barking up the wrong tree. Me and Bob are not traitors. Robin, speak for yourself.
Robin, what is going on? You are not good at this game.
Speak for yourself.
And by whole time, though, that would make me think Robin is a traitor.
I'll be like, you hold it pretty tight together, ain't
Because
you?
my thing is, why are you speaking for Bob? Unless you're trying to protect them, because the traitors got to protect each other, too, without letting other people know. So the fact that she's like, me and Bob are not traitors?
Yeah. And the thing is, what if they do banish Bob and he reveals he's a traitor? It's just like, Robin, you was going pretty hard for him.
Robin,
you next.
I would have said at that round table, Aaron would have been like, don't say it now. I would have said it. Robin, we're voting for you next. Okay. like just know that 100% that you're going to be banished in the next round table. Okay.
Yes.
So Robin, I'm rooting for you, but you're doing bad. Okay?
Yeah, don't tie yourself to people. You don't know who's who.
Especially since you got Wells wrong in like the last round table.
Yes. So after the round table, you mentioned Bob's name and Ion. How convenient that she's not here to back up my story. Dylan says that Ion also said Bob and now she's gone. Bob tells him, look, you're throwing out pieces of a puzzle, telling us put it together. You solve the puzzle for us.
Okay, Bob, I understand what you're trying to do. It wouldn't have fooled me. I
will say that I kind of would have listened to Bob just for a little bit because I would have been like, Dylan, if you really have evidence or your strong beliefs of Bob being it, like say exactly what you want to say and convince me of it, because he was throwing a lot of like tid pieces out there.
But here's the thing about it. This is where they know this is the early part of the game. I wouldn't lean on evidence.
True.
Right? You get what I'm saying? I would have leaned on likability, right? As in, that's why I would have been the one to put people food aside and things of that nature to make sure, like, even the traitors don't want to get rid of me yet because they just enjoy me being in the house. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm there just being a good spirit. And then I would have started the conversation like Dylan did, but Dylan is trying to make it seem like I have evidence where he should lean more on likability and things of that. That's what I would have did. Okay. Basically, like, we don't listen to Chris this time because, you know, he did put my plate aside. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Like that's what I would have did. In this, because I'm like, I don't have evidence. Yeah. I'm guessing just like all of us. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, Gabby doesn't think that Bob is a traitor. The faithfuls are open to hearing different theories. She doesn't see why Tony threw out Trishelle and Bob H's name, though. Tony says, well, Bob H, you know, jumped off the pontoons right away. Bob was like, I did not jump off right away. I was forced to jump off.
That is true. And get my number right.
Exactly. He knows what Tony can do. He's been quiet this whole time. And Tony says, you're only accusing me of being a traitor because I accused you. When did you think I was a traitor for real? And Bob H, he's and then he's like, okay, right now. Okay. He's like, you got me.
Okay, yeah, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. So Jeremy says that he played with Tony before. Tony crushed his dreams of winning, but he does not believe that Tony is a traitor.
A smart guy.
Robin says that Alan picks someone who can handle the job. You don't know why Alan picks people, Robin. Okay. Too much dip on your chip.
Robin.
Too much dip on your chip.
Robin.
And she says the best person is Tony.
I'm not gonna hold you, Robin.
She's just trying to get something to stick to.
Even though I may not believe that you are a traitor, I would have voted you out as a faithful. Okay. Because the thing about Robin is she speaks with so much confidence.
And you're leading us down the wrong road.
And you are going to get us all unalive. Exactly. You get what I'm saying? So we got to get rid of you. I would have been the Harriet Tubman of the group. You know what I'm saying? Where basically like, oh no, let's go back. We can't do it. Let's not be free. I would have told the group, go on, and I'm going to talk to Robin for us, right? And right when everybody's going away, I would have put out that famous shotgun that Harriet Tubman got. And be like, Robin,
you're ruining it for everybody.
I don't believe you are the traitor, but you're going to get too many innocent people unalive. And then I just would have had to banish her. Yeah. Because I would be like, you're not good at this game.
Make it sing, all right?
Yeah. Get rid of one to save everybody else.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So Dylan says, look, all those points that you're saying about Tony can go for Bob. Bob also commands the room.
That is true.
And Bob tells Dylan that you're misguided. Honestly, that could be your drag name, Misguided. I was just like, that was funny.
Okay. I thought it was corny.
Rob says that he gave his shield to Tony. Tony hasn't found a way to come talk to him at all. And that's a little bit suspicious. And Tony was like, y'all really think I'm a traitor? And Rob says that he didn't think he was, but at this point, he doesn't really know. So talking time is over. It's time to vote, and they vote out Tony.
Oh, my goodness.
As we know, Tony is a faithful. He reveals that to everyone, and everyone's jaw is on the ground. However, Tony calls Rob a sellout before he leaves.
I thought we were friends.
And Rob was a bit offended.
You gave me a shield.
Well, Bob tells Dylan that, look, I'm a lot. I got a big personality, but I'm no traitor. Dylan still thinks he's a traitor, but he's going to hold on to his thoughts until he fully trusts someone and he has more ammo.
And here's the thing about it. That's why you got to lean on likability. Look, Dylan he's in an alliance with Derek. I think that's a dangerous combo right there because Dylan, all he has is a gut feeling.
And Derek knows how to execute plans very well.
And I think that's why you didn't hear Derek over here jumping off the ledge like how Dylan is. Yeah. Because at the moment, they kind of know Derek's background, and he knows that whatever I say, it has to be right. It
has to hold weight.
Because here's the thing about it. If everybody follow what I say and it's correct the first time, that means I got the house. Yes. That means they going to listen to me every time. So I'm going to make sure that when I talk, that I have the right ammo, that I'm 100% with my gut. And Dylan, I think what you felt was right, but I think you executed it just an episode or two too early. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
So the traitors get a challenge card. There will be no secret meeting. Before the day is done, they have to choose three players to shortlist for unaliving in plain sight. Yeah. Put their names on a paper, place it in a coffin in the wine cellar. The players will be publicly put in the coffins. The traitors will then privately meet to put a nail in one of the coffins. If desired, they can choose one traitor and one faithful. So Danielle pulls.
Hold on. So they can unalive themselves?
They can put a traitor in the coffin or faithful in the coffin.
But they get the last say.
But they get the last say of who gets the final nail in the coffin.
Okay, cool.
So Danielle pulls Rob and Bob into the library. Robin actually goes into that room after them, but she doesn't notice that they went into that private room. Carolyn is walking around trying to find them, and she ends up finding them. Dylan has a feeling that something is going on. He's just like, something is off. He's looking around. He's like, something is happening right now.
So why don't he go get Derek?
Yes.
And talk to Derek.
That's your alliance.
Exactly. I'm like, you know.
Yes. Gabby ends up hearing and seeing Danielle and Carolyn come out of the little library. And that is where we end until we get the next drop of episodes.
You see what I mean? Y'all moving sloppy, right? What is your thoughts so far on the first 3 episodes?
Oh man, it's so good. It's
I'm so happy
so
we
good.
did this in under an hour. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, it's so good. I'm just like, all the inner workings, the challenges. Like, this is such a good game and such a good show. So I'm just excited to see things get fleshed out. Yeah. And I'm just excited.
Yeah.
What about you?
I would have. Yeah. I like the show. I think this is actually the best way of how reality TV shows should be had in that way. Have people who are already stars in their own light come back and be on the show, besides having people that want to make a name for themselves. They already won an Emmy, so I already know it's a great show. I think Dylan should. I'm focusing on Dylan.
Okay.
The only issue I have with Dylan is I think he said that he also trusts Danielle.
Yeah.
And he said that he only trusts her off the strength that they got the same sign. Bruh, this ain't the time for horoscope or like whatever it is. Okay. Right? I think everything that you got a mole inside the camp, you should never say your thoughts out loud. I think if you trust your alliance, you got to go with your alliance all the way, or basically fall flat with it. I think everything that he should bring to Derek, it should never be public information until y'all let him come back with some information. Let you compare the notes, and then like say it. Besides you just saying, I have a feeling something's going on. Find Derek. Yeah. Or basically like, relax, play it chill. Yes. But Danielle and Carolyn coming out of that private room is. Why? If I was a traitor, I'd never be around y'all. Yeah. Ever.
But they had to meet to get the thing signed. But yeah.
Listen, we ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna do it. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Make sure y'all subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Also, PSA, right? We are doing Love Island All-Stars. This is going to be the year of Love Island for this show, meaning that we go do as many Love Island shows as possible. Based on the information that I read on the internet, it could be wrong, but I think it's correct. Love Island All-Stars premiere tonight, but it's going to premiere in the UK, right? And then the US will get the episode 2 days later. So watch the review. We're going to review it live, meaning like we're going to watch it with the UK audience, and y'all can come back and watch it once y'all watch the episode and things like that.
Unless you have ITV, then you can watch it right after the episode ends.
We are putting that investment because we have a good UK audience and we want to talk to them. Yes. You get what I'm saying? Anything else?
That's all.
Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Y'all be good.
Bye.